You're listening to the Co-Creator Network. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Hi, you're listening to Our Voice Now Humanities Team. I'm Sarah Applegate, and our guest today is Casey Kennedy. He is an 18-year-old Humanities Team volunteer. Casey is a junior at Polaris Expeditionary Learning School. His passion is music, singing, playing guitar and ukulele, and the drums. He also loves doing good things for others. He has volunteered with Humanities Team for 5 years. He's participated in free hugs, passed out blankets to the homeless in the winter, distributed bottles of water in the summer, performed at Humanities Team Colorado event, and most recently his band collected food for the Larimer County Food Bank of one of their performances. Casey wants to make a difference in the world. So one of the reasons we decided to have Casey on was because of this event, and he's going to hopefully be on and talk to us about this. I can give you some background knowledge on it. His band, I think, was playing and decided instead of being paid for this, they decided that they wanted the guests to donate cans of food so they can help feed them instead, which I think is a really great way. And it was and he's younger, so it was not younger than me, but he's like, a teenager and like our age, and thought of that instead of like getting paid and stuff, I think is really great.
Yeah. He'll just be on in just a minute. So Casey, he's been doing a lot of different stuff, and he's really involved in a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and you know him, right? Because,
yeah, actually friends with Casey. His mom and my mom are very close friends and co-workers. Nanette Kennedy, we've had her on the show before. And he's very involved with Humanities Team, just like we are, and he has been part of Humanities Team longer than I have. He was basically brought into it with his mom, like I was, and he's just grown up with this.
Yeah, I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting to grow up being like really strongly rooted in a nonprofit organization, especially one like Humanities Team, which is really just, it's not so much a goal that you hear about a lot. It's not so much like a physical thing. It's more of a consciousness movement, which is pretty amazing in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be a part of it, and I think it's good that we're getting the younger generation into it, like with Casey, and I think since you said that he started before you did and stuff, he kind of paved the way for us to join and start moving this. And I think he's on now. Are you here, Casey?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Welcome to the show.
Oh, well, thank you.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? We've been kind of covering some basic things like you're growing up with Humanities Team and that you're a musician and you just do all this incredible work. But is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, besides the Humanities Team work, and me being a musician, I think that's really it. I mean, I don't know. I just really love playing the guitar, and I love singing and bringing a smile to people's faces, regardless of whether I know them or not.
That's great. And can you talk a little bit about like where that passion for music comes from to you, and what your music means to you?
Sure. Well, where the passion comes from is my Uncle Tony, who lives in Missouri with his girlfriend, and a bunch of years ago, he sat me down and he made me watch the School of Rock, and I fell in love with that movie, and I was like, wow, these guys look super cool on stage, rocking out, and I wanted to be just like that, and so I picked up a guitar and started playing, and I haven't stopped ever since. And
I love that movie.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, I started singing along with playing the guitar, and I just fell in love with it. It made me feel it's the place where I can go to where if I'm in a really bad mood, I'll just start singing, and it's instantly gone.
Mhm. Yeah, you do have like this really cool mindset with music. Like you were definitely you self-taught yourself to play the guitar, and you play a couple other instruments, right?
Yeah, drums, the ukulele, and the guitar.
Yeah. So you play in a band. What does music mean to you in a sense?
What music means to me? Well, I think really it's an escape to where nothing really bad can happen to you. It's like walking into a door into a room that is not reality, where anything that is in there is created by yourself, and you can control the environment, whatever happens. And music, for me, I can create whatever I want, and I love that about it. And so it's just a really, really fantastic way for me to express how I'm feeling to other people, or to tell stories about history.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that one of the big things about music and performances and things like that, one of the reasons people like to do it so much is that they get to share a story and start like explaining things to people in a more unique way. And I was just wondering if you feel it through your music, you're able to reach people more by even if your message is like in the lyrics, or even if it's just like the thought behind your music, if you feel that it's able to reach people and get your messages through without them necessarily having noticed it even.
Yeah, I think definitely that I could reach in, like, to see into people. Like, I sang Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah at a Christmas recital for my singing lesson teacher. She hosts them all the time, and I was singing that song, and I could tell by the expression on people's faces that it had, like, given them a new meaning for that song, because it was coming through someone else, and, well, from someone a lot younger. And with songs that I've written, I really try and put a story or a meaning underneath all of the lyrics. Like, for instance, like, a main one would be that you're not alone, and don't ever think that you are, because you're not. You always have someone there for you if need be, and there's always someone with open arms.
Yeah, that's great. I think those are great messages to have in your lyrics. And I really like how you mentioned the song that that was already written and you didn't write. You still think that when you sing it, it has a different meaning. And I think that's true for all artists. Even if you're doing like the same piece or performing the same skit or whatever the circumstances, you bring your own emotion to it. And even like when you're acting or you're not supposed to be yourself, you still bring yourself to whatever you're doing, and it can reach people differently every time somebody different performs it. And I think it's great that you realize that too. And it's something important.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I heard you perform that song, and you're right when you say that you saw that look on the people's faces of it. It gave it a new meaning. That song, I've heard it so many times on the radio, but when you sing it, it had a different feeling and meaning behind it. It really songs. I feel like you especially convey this. Songs are not so much about who wrote it or what the lyrics are, but it's really like who's singing it. What are they trying to tell? What are they finding in those lyrics, and what are they trying to tell through it?
That's exactly how I look at it. Like, if for the Hallelujah, like, just because someone else wrote it, I would love to try and put it out there that I can make it my own in a sense, and someone else might do it differently, and they'll be giving out a different emotion than I would. And I love the fact that through any song or instrument that I can play or sing, I can do that by being very eclectic and away from everybody else, I guess.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So, kind of on the subject of music, you and your band recently did a food drive. How did that go?
It went pretty well. We were asked by one of my friends who I went to school with a couple of years ago for my band to play at her birthday party, and we were like, sure, that sounds like a lot of fun. And so my mom and I were talking, and we were both like, wow, a food drive. We should ask everyone who comes to bring non-perishable food so we can go donate it to a food bank. And it went fantastically at the party because maybe 3/4 of the people who came brought a can or two, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
we got a bunch of food.
I think it's great, like, how you turned a situation that, I mean, it was a good situation to begin with, but how you just turned that into, hey, let's go help people too while we're at it. And I think it's such a great way to do things. Because, like, why don't you just, if you're having a bunch of people over, have them bring a can of food and donate it to a food drive while you're at it?
Yeah, I mean, they're already coming, so why not try and give them another incentive to come?
Yeah.
Or to do something better for the world. And that's one of the biggest things that I want to try and do with maybe not my band, but with myself and my solo songs that I've written. I want to just try and make a difference. I want the world to stop hating each other, the wars to stop, and people to just start being open-armed.
Yeah, I think that's great, and I think it's great that you're using music to get that message out there, because, like, you can tell somebody 1,000 times, be nice or something, but it doesn't sink in. And I think when you hear something as a song or something, like, it just kind of sinks in more. Or I think that when you're lecturing something to somebody, they're less likely to follow it because either out of resistance or, it just doesn't resonate with them. But then when you have a song about it, or even just the energy behind it in a song or whatever way you try to get it in around without the lecturing, it just makes it sink in so much better. And it doesn't sound like work to somebody when they start doing it through music or through whatever media they want to.
Yeah.
And you've been working with Humanities Team since you were younger, right? And Humanities Team is a great organization to start getting the whole peace message and that idea out there. So, what do you feel is the best part about Humanities Team?
Well, for the things that I've been involved with Humanities Teams, the thing that I love most about it is the Free Hugs campaigns, because you can stand outside for hours with a free hug sign up, and hundreds upon hundreds of people will come up to you with open arms, and some of them will kind of give you the half hug because, well, they're them, and other people will give you the most heartwarming, like, I've known you for years and I haven't seen you for years kind of hug. And it's the greatest feeling in the world, and I love it. The Free Hugs campaign is definitely my most favorite part about my volunteer work with Humanities Team.
I think that I really like the whole Free Hugs idea because and I think that raising money for food pantries or food for food pantries and all that stuff is really great. But I think that when you do something as like simple as just giving a hug to anyone and everyone, it makes the whole world a better place. And I know that there's lots of other ways to make the world a better place as well, but it's something that's not focusing on any group or anything. That's the whole point. It's everybody's open to this, and it just spreads happiness. I think it's one of the greatest movements that we've had. I think it's a great way to promote oneness and charity and
I
all
agree fully.
like that.
Yeah, it's when you're out giving free hugs, I mean, nobody is like you can't like give hugs to someone else and deny someone else a hug, and I mean that would defeat the whole purpose. So it's total unity. And one time when my mom and we were in Boulder at the Pearl Street Mall giving out free hugs, a homeless couple came up to me and said, you know, that hug that you just gave me will probably be and has been the most amazing thing that has happened to me in a long time. And to see the smile on their face and the tears pooling in their eyes was the best gift I could have ever received. And it's overwhelming.
Yeah, that sounds great. And it's, again, like it's helping everybody, and it can really have like human contact. I think we've lost touch with it, and I think that we're losing that whole need for human contact and stuff, and it can be really effective and an effective way of like sharing. And also when you give somebody a hug without any without any pre-assumptions of them or anything like that, you're just hugging them and stuff, and there's no I mean, it's kind of unconditional too there. It just brings all that together, and I think that the human contact is also a big thing that we've kind of lost touch with and need to get back into, so it's another great way to bring that in as well.
Yeah, I think because we've lost so much human contact between each other, the people who really are down in the dumps and need just a friendly face or hug or something, they just take advantage of that moment and do not let you go, because maybe it's the first hug that they've had in years, or I don't know. I mean, it's just crazy how much people who do actually want the hug will love it.
Yeah, and
just a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I think that the free hug and the human contact is something we really need to get back into touch with. And I think people have been kind of cold and sheltered lately, and I think this is a way to kind of let that go and cause everybody to get into the spirit of oneness and happiness and warmth instead of cold. And
yeah, just bringing everybody together, because I mean, without friends, where would you be? And without a friendly hug, I don't think I could go a day at my school without being hugged by someone or giving out a hug. It just doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah. So I think we talked a little bit about it before, but when did you first get started with Humanities Team, and how did you start with
I don't really remember how long ago. I think I was 12 turning 13 or 13 turning 14, but it was through my mom. She was working with Neil Donald Walsh for the Group of 1,000, and then Steve Farrell, who runs Humanities Team, asked my mom if she wanted to be a part of that, and so she accepted, and then she would bring me to a bunch of meetings, to dinners, to the free hugs, and that's how I got started.
It's great, and I like, I think I mentioned it before, and I don't know if you were on then, but I think it's great that you kind of started because it sort of paved the way for me and Andy to get started. And it's a very small teen group right now, but you know, the younger generation getting into the humanities team and having this to kind of start, and you know, we're the ones that are gonna be living with it after everybody else has gone. So it's great that we're a part of it now and can kind of get an idea and show what we want in the world. I
Oh,
think.
definitely. This generation, our generation, is the generation that is going to be in the White House, and we're going to be the ones having to deal with the mess-ups of whatever's going on right now, and it's up to us to fix it. And I think the more people of our age group getting into humanities team, or maybe not even humanities team, just giving out free hugs or something, would benefit the future for us tremendously.
Yeah. One of the things that humanities team, or I guess the thing that humanities team is all about is oneness. So could you explain what oneness means to you and why you feel connected and why it should be a priority?
Sure. Well, before I came to Polaris Expeditionary Learning School, I was going to Poudre High School, and there I had gotten myself into a pickle where this kid threatened to kill me.
Wow.
Big fiasco. The teachers were like, well, we can't assure your safety, so we're going to send you home. And I was like, no, wait a second. You should find this kid. I want to talk to him. And so they went out and found this kid and sat us both down in a conference room. And I started talking to him, like, just, what's up? Like, what's your story? And he filled me in on everything, like, of how his lifestyle is living in a camper or a tent with his two brothers and his mother, and he just really tragic lifestyle. And we just talked about it, and I gave him my side of the story and vice versa, and we settled the agreement, and we became friends right afterwards. And I think oneness can be done in any way, shape, or form. And
Yeah.
that's, I guess, what oneness means to me directly is that anyone and everyone can get along at any given point in time. You just have to seize the moment and make an effort to do it. You can't wait for it to happen. You have to be really active to make it what you want. And that's what I did with this kid who threatened my life. I sat him down and I talked to him, and we became friends.
Cool. That's great.
That's a beautiful story. And I feel like that was like, I'm like just thinking that took some courage, and that's just amazing to me. This is on a little more upbeat and off-topic note. I have heard I know you, and I've heard your funny Gandhi impressions. Would you mind doing your Gandhi Beatles song?
Yeah, sure. My name is Mahatma Gandhi. Imagine there's no heaven. Easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And there it is.
That's great.
That's the best thing ever. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I was trying not to laugh so hard I was going to cry.
Well, we are entering the end of our show now. Is there anything you would like to add?
Well, thank you very much for letting me be a part of the show and letting me give my input on oneness and how to change the world and everything else. So thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
It was great.
Absolutely.
And thanks everybody for listening. Remember to like us on Facebook at Our Voice Now Humanities Team. And then you can post what you liked about the show or suggest topics for the future. And remember, you can also listen to all our archives